Welcome to Conversations with Laurel, everyone. I am your host, Laurel McHargue, and Chloe Crabb is back with us today to share another one of her amazing poems and a little bit about a very different childhood, right, Chloe?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you are a poet and an
Yes.
activist, and you've created some incredible words that we are sharing with the world. And tell us a little bit about the inspiration for your poem, The Child Who Endured.
So I think part of this poem was definitely talking to my younger self, um, who definitely went through a lot once I realized the extent of what I was going through as a kid and like how different my life was from like regular kids, you know, and how that kind of took a really big like sort of toll on like my mental health and stuff. And the way that made me like sort of think differently and like I need to start advocating for this and I need to start like being more aware of what's going on in the world and like all these like different things that I don't think regular kids think of all the time.
Yeah, and you say regular kids, and for those just joining us today, if you have not seen any of the other videos in the Chloe Speaks playlist, you should watch them. Chloe has um, a, do you call it a disorder called
Yeah.
spinal
Yeah.
muscular atrophy? It's a disorder, and because of this, you are very different from, I would say, everyone else. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever read your poems to you?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Would you be willing to have me read this poem to you today?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Because again, this one is powerful. And we're going to talk a little bit about poetry and the creation of it. This one is called The Child Who Endured. You were always told you were too small for the world to notice, too skinny, too quiet, too much of something they didn't understand. You laughed when it hurt, because if you smiled first, maybe it wouldn't sting so bad. You learned early how cruel silence could be, how a whisper could cut deeper than a knife. And on those nights when your room felt endless, you wrote the words, the ones no one was meant to find. Each word felt like a heartbeat slowing down, each line a doorway closing behind you. I remember. I remember the ache in your chest, the way you thought vanishing would be the only way to be free. But listen, you made it through. The memories that could kill became the reason you survived. The face that lives, still yours, still fierce, still here. You grew into someone softer, but not weaker. Someone who learned that staying is its own kind of victory, that every cruel word ever thrown at you was wrong, and you are living proof. Keep breathing, little one. One day you'll love the mirror for the way it still reflects you after everything tried to erase you. One day you'll write again to remind the world that you lived. And that is everything. Oh my gosh, I'm tearing up. Sorry.
It's okay.
Ah, how long did it take you to write this poem?
Ooh, a couple of days.
Yeah.
I really had to put a lot of thought into it and like how to almost write it in a sense that it was like still making me feel like I'm here, like I've done so much that I thought I wasn't going to do, like I'm speaking, I'm advocating, I'm like I went through spinal surgery and I got through that, I survived that, and it was just like I definitely, yeah, I'm just gonna say it took me a while to write that.
How did it feel with me reading it to you? Because I mean, you saw how it affected me.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. It like really made me think about how I wrote it more and like thinking about my childhood and stuff. Um, yeah, like I said, I haven't had my poems read to me before, so that was like interesting. But like how my own words are read through someone else's eyes, and like, yeah,
Weepy eyes. You're, when you talk about it, one day you'll write again, which you are doing now to remind the world that you lived. Did you question the tense of that last word, lived? Because when I read this, I question, and again, poetry is all about every single word, right?
yeah.
And did you struggle at all over whether you wrote to remind the world that you lived or to remind the world that you live?
Um, I think I like lived better just because it like flowed. Like for me, it just flowed better, and I was like, that sounds better, and I like that. And I think live sounds good too, but it's just like lived. I feel adds like this extra depth to it in a sense, like
Okay.
being like a preteen to like an actual teen and like all that.
All right. And again, you wrote this to you as a child. And so that does make more sense, I suppose. I was thinking, but you live, but you were writing this, you lived through your childhood.
Yeah.
When did you know that you were different?
Um. Ooh, that's tricky. I think so. I got on the current drug trial that I'm on about 5 or 4 years ago. I forget right now. But I got on that drug trial and I was like, hey, I feel like I'm getting stronger, but I'm not sure. And so I kind of started to like challenge myself. Like I joined the swim team and I joined like jujitsu. Why jujitsu? I'm not really sure. I just did. Um, but basically, swim team went wrong. That was not the best decision for me because I was like slower than the other kids and I would never like win, which competitiveness at heart, which is something I cannot get rid of. Um, and like I would on weekends, I would wake up at 6 in the morning and go swimming for 3 hours, right? Sometimes even longer, so I could get stronger. And I kind of thought that like if I was getting sore and if I started like if my shoulders started hurting like super bad, I was building muscle when that really wasn't the case. And so it's like I was seeing these different patterns between me and other kids where I was like, I'm not normal. Like what's going on? And that definitely like just started. That's kind of where it started. And then in jujitsu, whoa, in jujitsu, that's a very interesting word to say.
Yeah.
I broke my ankle from a small impact, really small impact, and I was like, I haven't seen this with like anyone else. So like it was just like I said, like these patterns building up where I was like, I'm different from other kids. And I don't know how to acknowledge that because people will see, especially like people back when I moved or before I moved here, people will see past like this barrier that I've built up of like, I'm smart, I'm strong, like I'm kind, I'm caring, and they'll just see my physical ability. And I don't like when people see that. Like I want them to see me, not my chair. And so when people see that and it's like I know that they can see that, this is sorry, my words ain't they're not wording. Um
It's Friday.
yeah, it just gets like really I think it got really hard for me to like acknowledge that, you know?
And to respond
Yeah.
to the whispers. Wh- So you talk about 4 or 5 years ago when you started this new drug. When you were so the thumbnail that you sent me a picture for, you
Mhm.
were really little. You were what, maybe 4 in that
Four, I think.
picture? Did you know that early on? I mean, how early on?
Uh, uh, so if I was four, I mean, I definitely think I knew pretty early on, just because, like, I mean, I was in a walker on crutches, and then in kindergarten, I finally got a wheelchair. Um, and that was different. And I think also being like left out was a really big thing and like a part of my childhood, and sometimes still a part of now as a like teen. But more shown as like a kid. Because I mean, kids aren't aware of like everyone else, and I think that's
Yeah,
just like definitely a thing. And like something I've been able to recognize for a really long time, but I've also had to like see that, or else I was like gonna literally cave in on myself. Um, and so kids aren't aware of other people sometimes, and I think that's the part of being left out.
yeah,
And where I started to recognize that, because it would be like at recess, like probably when I was like, I don't know, like 6. It would be like there were um the cut up like tire rubber things like
on
on a
the ground.
playground, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And my walker, my wheelchair couldn't get across that. And so it was like I wasn't getting invited to go over like, hey, do you want help getting across this? Or like, do you want
yeah,
to find an accessible way to do this? And so it's like I've had to always create these like own patterns for myself and like these new opportunities for myself that haven't always been from other kids helping me, which I think is a big thing that people don't recognize all the
yeah,
time.
yeah. Hmm. So your words that you wrote that, no one was meant to find. When did you start that journaling? You were writing, keeping a journal?
Yeah, probably when I was like 10,
Okay.
maybe. I don't have that journal anymore.
No?
Mm-mm.
Tell me why.
I think it was limiting how I could look into my future because it made me so stuck from when I was like 10 to like 11, 12 maybe. And it was like not really letting me see past that era of my life. Because I wasn't motivated. I didn't really like I didn't care for grades or school. And that was a really interesting thing for me. And I was like falling behind in school, which is another thing. Because I was like so bored of it too, which I think is
Mm,
something I've talked about before. I was so bored of like the fact that I wasn't being challenged. And so it made me start falling behind. And then
yeah.
plus, like, I was just like so overwhelmed with like everything else going on, like being on the swim team, jujitsu, like all of that. So then I was just no motivation. Like, that's like
You were giving
most
up.
would
It
put it.
sounds like
Yeah,
you were giving up.
yeah.
So what did you do with those journals?
Um, I kind of just threw them away,
Okay.
honestly.
All
Um,
right.
and
Was that
started.
hard? Was that hard? Because I'm asking you because I have journals that I have kept from high school, from
Yeah,
my lowest days, which are nothing compared to yours. But
yeah,
I think I'm gonna pull them out and use them for fire starter.
yeah,
But what?
yeah.
So what inspired you to change your mindset?
I think the fact that there can be so much change in the world, and one voice can do so much, you know.
How did
And
you
like,
realize that though? How did you? I mean, what
um,
happened? That something must have flipped some switch somewhere.
I kind of started to like look up to more people in a sense. I don't like I'm trying to figure out how to word that. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I started looking up to people and being like, this could be my life. Like I don't have to stay here. and I can move on and I can accept what happened and I can create that as a motivation to like get better and to heal and really like look into like I said, like what my life could become. And I was like, I want to get motivation, I want to get good grades, and I just want to be healthier. And so I started like looking up to people like Malala Yousafzai, who's a Pakistani women's rights educator, or whoa, education rights advocate. That took me a little words there, and she got shot in the head when she was 15, right?
Yeah, yeah.
15 or 13,
Gosh, that was a while. Oh,
and
man.
she survived.
Yeah.
And she went through a huge mental toll,
Mhm.
and now she's wrote several books. I went to one of her tours for one of those books. Um, and so I like looked up to her and I was like, oh my God, she got through it. I can get through it. And like, I mean, obviously it's not the same thing getting shot in the head and like all that. It's not like looking in a mirror, but like just to see that like some people, well, people will get through it and that's a possibility and they will become successful and be happier, you know? And like, even like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who rest in peace. Um, but I love her so much, and she is just amazing. And I just like started to get all these role models and really try and turn my life around from
So
like
it was it
not
was
being
a
motivated.
it was a choice.
Yeah,
You realized that you had the ability to choose
yeah,
at some point, which is a really mature revelation.
yeah,
There are people my age who still don't believe that they can choose to do different things to make their lives better.
yeah. And I mean, I can admit I still like sometimes don't have motivation, and like I still
Because you're
sometimes like
human.
yeah,
Hello. You're
I'm human. And like I still like fall behind on routine sometimes and like it's just a whole thing but it's not like no motivation and I'm like I'm not gonna do any schoolwork because like I'm just too cool for that. I'm joking, that's not how it was, but like like I'm like helping my younger self and like trying to show her that like I'm gonna get through and like I can get through, you know.
Do you know how many people you have inspired by your own life? Do you think
Hopefully a
about,
lot.
do you think,
I'm
do
not
you
sure.
think about that? I mean, do you think about that?
Yeah, yeah, I mean it's kind of hard with like some of my friends because like you never know what they're thinking in middle school especially. um but I know like I'm friends with like some of like the seventh grade girls and they're like, Chloe, you're just kind of like a big sister to me, like you're just like always there, and like it's just like a really nice feeling to me and I think like that's like a part of inspiration is like I'm the quote big sister.
Yeah.
um so yeah.
Huh. So you mentioned before I started recording that this has been a particularly tough week at school. Why? Is it because everything's coming to, do you have like end of semester exams or anything that you need to prep
We
for
have
or
a couple, but they're not like bad. Um, and they're starting this upcoming week, and then the week after that, it's just pretty chill. Plus, I'm going to Denver,
you're going
so
to Denver to speak to the Colorado
uh,
Senate?
not yet, but I am going for an infusion and then talking about that infusion that next day. So it's kind of going to be a busy Denver trip, but
Okay.
yeah.
And you're going to be talking with medical professionals about the
Mhm.
infusion. What's the name?
Yeah.
What's the name of the drug?
Scholar Rock, or I think its scientific name is like apitegromab. Not sure what that name is. Um, yeah,
And so you've been working on your presentation to them.
yeah,
You pretty set?
I think so.
Yeah.
I definitely
Is it gonna be a
still,
two thumbs up, a one thumbs up, a thumb and a half? What do you
um,
think?
I'm gonna shoot for just one thumbs up for now. I definitely still need to practice it. Um, because I mean, I've been in a room with like Congress people and Senate, so I mean, I don't know why I'm stressing out about this when it's medical professionals. Um,
Well, because you're a test case, right? I mean,
yeah,
do you know how
yeah.
many other people are in this?
Um, I think there's like 200, maybe,
Okay.
at least in America. I'm not sure how many are like in the UK or like in the rest of the world, but I know they're doing like Scholar Rock testing in the UK. But
All right. All right.
yeah,
And are you have you had positive results? Do you believe that this is
yeah.
helping?
Um, I definitely do. Um, I mean, even going back to like my childhood, like I'm way stronger, honestly. And I've like seen actual gains, and even my like endurance is higher. Like I can swim for longer, and I'm not stressing myself out. Because I'm like, oh, I can't make it. Like I'm like getting tired. I can at least do like I think the other day I did like 41 laps, and I was like, oh, that's not normal for
Wow.
me. Um,
Wow. Do you go to the
and
Salida, the aquatic center there?
yeah, the aquatic center. Yeah.
I need to join. I think that's going to be
Yeah.
my Christmas gift to myself, a membership there. Yeah.
And then even like with spinal surgery, I think it was December like 2023, 20, oh no, 2022. I had my surgery in 2023. My back was at 30 degrees. So
Mm.
that's like minimal-ish curve. I mean, minimal to moderate. And then it was like that, I think July 2023, it was at 80 degrees. So we're thinking that like with that muscle drug, it was like pulling my like spinal muscles and making like the curve worse.
Mm.
And
Mm.
like now my back is like corrected and like I have more muscle in my back from afterwards.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's fabulous. Do you ever do you ever say to yourself, they're trying to send people to Mars. We've been to all over the place. Why can't they fix me?
Yeah. Um, yeah. Oh, that's a tricky thought to explain.
Yeah. I, I mean,
uh,
I think a lot of people with all kinds of different issues, be they, mental or physical, probably think that, like, why isn't money being spent here to fix
yeah.
obvious problems?
Hmm. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's definitely something I advocate for. And I think with like, hold up, I just had a thought and it like left my brain. Um,
Happens to me all
but
the
like,
time.
with like I said, my advocacy, I'm like really big on like we need to like focus on like what's in front of our like what the
What's
problems are in front of us and here, and like yeah, going to space. I mean, I guess that's cool, but it's also like there's so much focus on what I mean, hold up. Like there's so much focus on things that don't always need to be focused on. Like
Yeah.
I don't even know how to say it, but like
How is that improving us as a species?
mhm,
Yeah.
yeah. Like even just like with healthcare right now. Like it's insane. And like there's like kids my age with my same disability that are like completely have no access to getting healthcare and
Mm.
like no access to like Spinraza and Scholar Rock, which are like decently $250,000 drugs,
Mm.
dependent on like and dependent on how many times they get it a year, that could be almost over $1 million.
Yeah.
And they can't their families can't like pay for that and access it. So it's like how is this benefiting us again?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. 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 I get frustrated too when I see
yeah,
the millions and billions of dollars spent
uh,
on, yeah, foolish things, I think.
yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
Chloe, what's the most difficult thing you had to do this week?
Um oh, that's tricky. Um, let's see, what did I do on Monday?
You mentioned
Mostly
the,
just taking a whole bunch. Oh, wait, no. Yesterday, sorry.
okay.
I had a group project and I practically like just carried all of it. I did all of the work.
I hate group projects for that same reason.
Exactly. It's my like I'm gonna have to do it in my future job, but like when it's at school and people who like have no like work like etiquette or anything, I'm like, what are you doing? Like I understand if you don't want to get an A, but like I do. And
Oh,
like
oh, you're bringing me back. You're bringing me back. Oh,
it's
I
that
hear you.
same like school trauma. But yeah, it was like one was kind of working, but like we had to like take notes and they were like the sloppiest notes I've ever read in the whole wide world. And so I was here, like I was over there and I was just like typing, and I was like, okay, I like these notes. And then this other kid like completely like spaces out all of them, like chops off words, like says, "Oh, you spelt that wrong." No, no, I didn't. That's
Uh,
okay.
all right, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've always had an issue with group projects.
Yeah,
And I know having been a teacher, I know the philosophy behind them. Um,
yeah,
but still it doesn't make them easy. That's for sure.
no,
Oh boy. Well, it's the weekend. Anything
yes.
fun happening this weekend?
I think I'm mostly just staying at home. I know I have to do some studying, sadly, and some homework. But other than that, we might do a little shopping,
Okay.
like go up to Silverthorne. But yeah,
Over the mountain. Over the mountain. We had some great snow yesterday,
yeah,
and it was really pretty, except for, having to
yes,
shovel it. But this is your fourth poem that you've shared with the
yeah,
world today. And if anyone out there knows how we can represent and share Chloe's work more broadly, I would love that. So please contact me. Please share this video with everyone you know, with poets and with people who struggle with anything mental or physical. Because Chloe, you are a 13 and a half year old woman, young lady who is overcoming so much more than the average bear. And you show up and share your poetry and you smile and yeah, you are an inspiration to me, even though your poem made me cry.
sorry about that.
It's okay. You know what? Good writing is supposed to make the reader feel something.
Yeah,
And so I guess I wanted you to see how your writing affected me, affected and will probably affect other readers as well.
yeah,
So you're going to come back again
yes,
with more.
of course.
Let's see. Do you have any holiday poetry? Are you working on anything new?
Um, yeah, I'm kind of started the Flowers for Algernon poem a bit.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
still working on that though.
All
Um,
right. That's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to
yeah.
that.
Um, so far no holiday poetry,
Okay.
but
All right. All right.
I'm
Well,
writing.
have a relaxing weekend if you can, and thank you for sharing your spirit with the
Yes.
world. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time with another poem. Listeners, like and subscribe, please. Leave comments. Tell us what you think about this incredible woman. And yeah, again, share it with friends and come back again when we'll have more with Chloe Speaks. Chloe, thanks.
Yep.